So how was your Super Bowl festivities?
It was kind of fun. I went up my sister-in-law's brother's house, which is a nice big setup in the basement. Lots of like I think he has like 6 TVs or something like that, 4 TVs, 5. And he has like a shuffleboard thing, darts, a big spread. The only thing that upset me was for like most of the first quarter, something went wrong with the way he had all this TV streaming that we weren't getting sound. So I was missing sound for I had like bets on the coin flip, and I had to take the word for it for who I bet that they won, because I couldn't, they didn't show the coin. The referee was just like saying what, this is heads, this is tails, flip it, what do you call? All right, it came up heads, and I was like, all right, I don't know. And then I missed a lot of just the commercials and stuff like that that I kind of wanted to hear. But then after that, it was all sailing was good for the sound, and had a good time. It went into overtime, which I was like, oh, I just want to go home. But otherwise, it was a close game. It was a sloppy game up until the fourth quarter. That's what I will say. It was like this game was going to come down to who made the least amount of mistakes, and the team that made the least amount of mistakes was the Chiefs.
You would think that these teams are professionals and they'd make no mistakes.
It happens. The ball rolls funny for everybody, Joe.
I guess.
Yep.
But so this is where I think you said you had gone for like New Year's Eve or some nonsense.
Yes, I went for the Super Bowl before and for Christmas and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
It's up by, this is the place that I was telling you is up by the Why Not?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a legit, big, log cabin looking thing. It's kind of awesome.
Now, he didn't get these things worked out. And again, I don't know how coordinating 3, 4, 5 TVs or whatever it is together works. But there was 2 hours of pregame stuff that he could have worked without during.
I think something happened. You know what I mean? It wasn't. There was sound, and then right around the beginning of the game, I don't know what happened, if something went wrong, or I do know at one point we would have to because he was streaming it on different TVs, he would have to make sure that the TVs didn't go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? They're like, are you still watching? Press OK. Boy.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe something happened, because I wasn't paying attention, and then there was no sound because we weren't listening to the sound during the pregame. We everybody was talking, they were taking bets on squares and stuff like that. And then when the game started, I don't know if that's when it went wrong, whatever. But it was it got fixed, and it was fun. And I ended up making $130 on squares, so I was happy.
That's the most important thing, money.
Yep.
Now, you guys didn't watch the Nickelodeon feed with the kids nonsense and
no
SpongeBob and Dora the Explorer and all that shit?
No. I did that once when Disney Plus did it for a game, and I watched it in Andy's room from Toy Story.
Yes, I remember when they did that. Yes,
right, because I didn't realize that I was borrowing my brother's Hulu, which was where the game was. And I was watching it on Disney because that was the only way I could watch it. It was the 9 o'clock England game at 9 a.m. And I watched it. I was like, oh, and then they were streaming on here and Hulu. And I was like, wait a minute, I have my brother's Hulu. And I went over and I watched the second half from there. But it was interesting watching the first half. So but that's not my style. But now I won't be able to borrow my brother's Hulu because they're cracking down on that too.
Yeah, I got the email. Disney Plus is all the streaming channels are we encourage sharing, and now after we got you used to sharing, we're going to penalize you for it.
Right. And this is my take on it. And I don't know if we did this on the show here, but it's okay. So they say it's family, right? So it's supposed to only be in your house. But this is the way you charge me. You charge me X amount of money for up to 6 screens at once, or 4 screens, depend. You know what I mean? The different prices.
Yeah.
Who cares what 4 screens they are? If they're not in the same house, so be it. You're charging me for 4 screens. So if I use it and I share it with you and I share it with Adam and I share it with Brett, whoever, that's 4 screens. That's what I'm paying for. You should not give a shit where those 4 screens are in a house, especially if you have a family. It's a family package. What if my kid's off and at college? You know what I mean? Can't bring the TV home and hook it up to my internet and take it back every couple months.
Yeah.
So I think we have a good class action lawsuit like the one that's going down with Amazon. Because Amazon's getting one because they're doing not the same thing. They're not doing the password thing, but they're doing the ads. And it's like, no, we signed up, like people prepaid for a year with like what it was. And then you change it 2 months in that it's, like, no, like we signed up for this. And I'm also a proponent of you can have ads, but your whole thing is thing is here. We're paying you. If I'm paying you, I shouldn't have ads. That's the rule on a streaming site. But no, they're gonna get every last penny out of us because Amazon is hurting ever since they took our click-through away.
I think all the streaming sites are hurting because, one, they're not Tubi, and two...
Until all are one.
Right, and two is because there's so many of them now.
Right.
And to compete with each other, they have to have, like, more premium content.
Mm-hmm.
And the more premium content that you have, that costs more money. That money has to come from somewhere. Whatever. Tubi, there's no premium option on Tubi. It's free.
Yep, but they have ads, so I'm okay with it.
You're getting ads, right?
Yep. If you're paying, I don't want ads. And I don't think it has probably something to do with that, but I think it was the plan all along. It was one of those, let's get all these idiots to cut the cord. And with all these promises, and I knew it was going to happen. It's like, come get our streaming service. It's $5, so much cheaper than, your cable. And I was like, well, what happens when they run cable to ground? You don't think they're going to jack up the price because they're the only games in town? It's the way businesses run. When did streaming become a business, Joe?
It was Game of Thrones.
It was probably Game of Thrones. I think it was Stranger Things.
No, I remember there was a Game of Thrones ad campaign that was encouraging people to share their passwords with their friends. Right.
HBO was one of them that was happy to do it because they were thinking like, we're not going to get those people who aren't going to pay. You know what I mean? Like they could get it and who cares? We were never going to have them anyway, but you might get 1/4 of those people who I want my own. I want this all the time. You know what I mean? So I always thought that was like your first taste is free is fine,
I know there's, with a lot of these sites, there's opportunities that you could use to get around them.
Oh, there's that word again.
Like, I know you can get some of them. I know Amazon Prime for sure. Mm-hmm. If you sign up with your school email address.
Right.
Like it's a .edu or something.
Okay.
And there's ways that you could spoof your email address,
Mm-hmm.
But then you run the deal of, depending on what the school is and how far they decide to go into checking that, or if the school's okay with you using them as like a go-between, and like if you end up crossing over with someone that already exists as an email address, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But you could do that. You mentioned, I know, similar to the streaming sites, the cell phone plans. I wonder when they're going to start cracking down on that, because I don't want to say what cell phone provider it is.
Right.
But my one of my relatives has himself, his wife, their 3 kids, the 3 kids' boyfriends, the 2 grandkids, maybe my brother, his wife, and his 2 kids all on the same family plan.
Well, that's a big family.
It's a big family, and they do live in, they live across like 6 different locations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing that for a long time, and it's a way that they all kind of get in. And I'm wondering if and when the streaming thing is going to roll over to the cell phone carriers, because I know a lot of cell phone carriers offer you the gimmick of like, hey, as part of our whatever, we're going to give you X streaming service at a lower rate.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is fold it into your bill that you're already paying. Now, does that get around? Because, like, let's say, let's just say this the cell plan is Verizon, and let's say the streaming service that they offer a discount on is Disney Plus, right?
Right.
And I've got 15 people on my family plan, and they're at 6 different locations, and I'm also paying the little bit extra in my bill to get Disney Plus. Does that go? Is that a loophole that I can get around the Disney Plus thing because it's part of my Verizon bill and you're okaying this one part of the family plan, but you're disavowing this other part of the family plan?
If it is a loophole, it won't be open for long.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is like, is that now gonna filter back of Disney being like, hey, Verizon, you can't do this. Verizon taking away the Disney Plus or cracking down on something else there. I mentioned the email address. I mentioned the family plan with the cell phones. Another one that used to be able to do, this was more like DirecTV. If you had a mobile home or like an RV.
Right.
Because technically, the way that it works is they want everyone to be on the same IP address.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're going to ping you. But obviously, if you're a traveler, you're mobile home or whatever it is, you're on the road, you're on the go, you're picking up Wi-Fi wherever you go. I know for DirecTV will still let you have like the DirecTV in your RV, mobile home, etc., and you'll just be able to pick it up wherever you are. Cell phone, same thing. Most of the streaming plans would allow you to do that as well. Well, what if I have like 2 mobile homes, right?
Right.
What if I'm a snowbird? I got a winter residence here, and I got a summer residence there. I got my normal residence here, and then I bounce around to different mobile home parks, right?
Right. I think you're shit out of luck. I think they'll be like, too bad.
I wonder, because I know like that. I know as of like, let's say like a year ago, DirecTV would allow you to do that. You had to be on top of it though. Like if you were like settling down for like longer than like X amount of days, you had to give them like what your location was, mostly so that if there was like certain channel blackouts and stuff,
right,
that you weren't getting channels picked up from somewhere else in an area that you were. Like that's a weird thing, like with football games and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or local news.
Right, or local news or whatever it was. There would be like loopholes like that. So I wonder if any of those things are going to start filtering through to some of these streaming services. Right now, only ones I got Hulu on the, or not Hulu, Peacock on like the cheapest level that you could pay for, which is like $3, $4 a month, whatever the hell it is.
Right, comes with ads.
Right, comes with ads, and I understand that. It's an ease of use sort of thing more than anything else.
Right.
I have the Amazon Prime because we use the Amazon Prime shipping, and I got the Disney Plus because we get it at a lower rate through our cell phone, and I get my cell phone at a lower rate anyway through my job, so it's like low upon low.
Right. I get Peacock for free, lowest tier, because I have Xfinity internet.
There you go.
And I don't know if I was talking to you about this. At one point, I remember when because I had cable from Xfinity before I got the YouTube's TVs, and I thought that Peacock was free just through the cable. But then I talked to Adam, and I was like, no, I always had Xfinity internet, but DirecTV, you get it free for having any, you know what I mean? Either one. I was like, oh, okay. And originally, that was one when I had Xfinity cable and internet. Peacock, premium was free. And then a while they were like, oh, we're taking that away and we're giving you the lowest tier for free. And I was like, oh, okay. It was free anyway, so I don't care. But I forgot that I have that. So I have that. I have Disney Plus. I had Hulu, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I have Max or HBO Max or whatever you want to call it. And I have my own Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Because I do that. But I kind of my brother maybe likes Amazon Prime for his Hulu. So, but I have a feeling that's going to go the way of the dodo also, being able to share Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all that stuff sort of works out, you know?
Yeah. Oh, and I have Netflix. And I will say this. Once Stranger Things comes back, depending on how the timing works out, I'm dropping Netflix and I'll get it for 1 month or whatever when Sandman comes back and or Stranger Things. And Disney Plus is we'll see, because we're getting less and less Star Wars / Marvel stuff on it as it goes on. So we'll see. I might drop everything but Amazon Prime.
And Disney Plus, you know, like I said, we get it because it's part of the cell phone thing, but also ease of use for The Simpsons. My kid watches The Simpsons.
There you go. Okay, that makes sense.
He's living my life. At his age, I'd go to bed watching my own homebrew VHS tapes of The Simpsons.
Right.
He just puts on, he logs into his profile, pulls up The Simpsons. It picked up in the episode that he left off, and he just goes to bed watching The Simpsons. Kid after my own heart, literally.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
but we only have it, we don't watch any of our streaming things on, our mobile devices. He has it on his TV in his room. We have it on the TV in the living room. We don't have a TV in our bedroom. That's it,
Yeah, I have just the one giant screen TV, but I do use all the streamings on my Kindle. But I mostly use that because obviously you can't watch two things at once. But when I would go away, if I went to a con, last year I went to the con and I ate Comic-Con and I had YouTube TV and I had whatever, I could watch whatever I wanted in the hotel room as long as it had Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? So it'd be I could watch the shows that I'm recording, or I could watch them live. Or if I'm bored and there's internet on the floor of the con while I'm watching the table with Tom, I just be I will put on something that I could watch or listen to or whatever. So that's the only other time that I really use it. And during football season, when you have the package on, you could do multi-screen for the games that you want to watch, but that's only the ones that are out of market. Out of the in-market one, which would be on your local channels, you couldn't. So what I would do is I'd watch the local game on the Kindle and then have 4 games on the TV at once, and that was nice. So,
gotcha.
Living like a rich man, Joe.
Yeah, exactly. So the only other thing I got is it was on my notes from last week. I was going to mention it, but I can bring it up here. So I ended up, I have a doctor's appointment this week. Just to follow up from 2 months ago when I went. Right. Outside of ginger ale, which has been told is medicine, so it doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any soda in 2 months.
Right.
I did pick up while I was out and about. I'd been getting the Canada Dry Zero.
Yeah.
I picked up the Schweppes Zero.
Right. Which one was better?
I like the Canada Dry better.
Okay.
The Schweppes is a little bit sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think ginger ale is supposed to be sweet. I think it's supposed to
be gingery.
Yeah, be gingery. That's it food wise.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the grocery store brand of barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's.
I've heard of it, Joe.
Okay. They have a garlic parmesan marinade sauce or whatever that's new.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do you just bathe in it now?
That was exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And as of this recording, the Long John Silver's by me is still open.
Oh, okay, good. Backups are appreciated.
I always like to double check. I was up in your neck of the woods this past weekend. I saw that Long John Silver's was bustling, and I just happened to drive by the one by me this past, just a day ago, and they always forget to turn the lights on, the outside lights on.
Right.
But
saving money, Joe.
I guess.
Electric is expensive.
But the lights inside were on. There were people working, and there was like 3 cars in the drive-thru.
That's a good sign that they're open.
That's a good... Tells me they're open. You know, I know there's like a meme online. It's like, who's keeping Long John Silver's in business? Is this a front for something? It is. Go ahead.
No, it's a front for fish lovers, for fish math, Joe.
It's a front for delicious food.
That's right. But bringing up food, the day of the Super Bowl, I was down in your neck of the woods because I went and I got me more peanut sticks.
Oh, sure.
To celebrate. And I may have gotten too many peanut sticks because I may have looked like Santa's little helper after eating bacon to bring it around to The Simpsons. And then I had to ask you because I almost did like a twofer because there's a pizza with the onions over in Exeter too.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that one?
It's been a while. You know, obviously the one that's like right here, it's convenience, so I go to that one.
Right, of course. But I was thinking of making it an occasional double trip, but I'm afraid to try it because maybe you'd heard like, oh, it's not the same. Like it's just pizza loving in name only.
Right.
You know, so
I assume they're like the same.
Right. So
but
I'll have to give it a try. I'll have to give it a try. But I need to lay off the peanut sticks. Need to like cut way back. Like way back.
Oh, so one last thing before we wrap this up, as we're recording this and this is getting released, and you know, depending on what tier on the Patreon you are, you know, depends on when you get this. Going. No, you don't. You don't.
Okay.
I'm keeping it somewhat evergreen in that regard. So it's Valentine's Day coming up at my kid's school. He did a thing where it's like a bunch of like he's like into rubber ducks, you know. So
like actual rubber ducks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the kids are getting like Valentine's Day themed rubber ducks. And my wife's like, I can't just give them that. You have to give them candy or whatever it is. And she's like, how about just like regular Hershey bars? So she goes to the store and gets like a bunch of regular Hershey bars.
No gummy candy?
No gummy candy. Come on now. But she made the mistake for her and for him thinking, well, it's Valentine's Day. They're going to have like special branded stuff. These Hershey bars have like a red line on them, you know, so they're probably Valentine's Day ones, right?
Right.
No, they're delicious dark chocolate candy bars. And she's like, I can't give these to the children. Children hate, you know, bitter chocolate. So I'm going to take them all back to the store. I go, no, keep a couple for me.
Joe.
I love dark chocolate. It's the best.
I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate. I can't. Because dark chocolate has a bitter edge to it, and it lacks the oral ecstasy of its milky cousin, Joe.
I'm not throwing a milk chocolate bar out of the bed, but anything special dark chocolate, my chest hurt this week.
Well, that was my peanut stick emergency that I had this week. But no, like dark chocolate to me is just ass in silver foil. So, and not the good kind, you know. So, just terrible. It has a terrible taste, like I said. So,
and I'll close with this.
Oh, and I'm a white chocolate guy. Just so
that's terrible. That's not. Chocolate.
That's the best. But go ahead.
I guess the Mad Basis isn't listening to us on vacation because I haven't gotten any nasty grams in regards to us talking about his IMDb last week.
Right, or doxing him as I did.
As you did, yes.
Yes. But who knows? Because he'll text me. He will get behind. You know, he's got a life. He's busy starring in the movies. And
he can't just drop everything and up and go to like New Jersey for no reason.
No, that's not the kind of life he has.
No,
that's the life one of us has.
Yeah, it ain't me.
But it ain't you. But yeah, no, I'll get the text when he hits that one. I will. So.
Usually he tweets at us.
True, but I also get a text sometimes. So
gotcha.
Especially when it's super secret, I'll get the text. Like, what are you doing, asshole?
Oh my goodness.
Nah, he's usually good. So.
He's very even keel.
Yes, he is.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. This was Longbox Heroes After Dark, like 483 or something, right? Sign up for the Patreon, get these early, get them 2 days before everyone else. Listen to these shows that we put out weekly in the correct listening order. Programming note for 2 weeks from now, I'm going on a cruise.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what we're doing. I think there's just going to be like a quick dummy show for the main show.
Right.
I'm going to try to talk to Becky this week at the shop just to kind of talk a little bit about her romance comic stuff.
Right.
And I think that's just going to drop on like both feeds.
Yeah, well, we'll see, whatever.
Yeah. And oh my God, last week was the goddamn worst, and I promise we're going to wrap things up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like, so I had to fix typos and all sorts of shit in the pull post for the Secret Six stuff that we've been going back and forth with, right?
Right, real easy, all figured out. But go ahead.
And then I accidentally put the wrestling show up in the main on the Longbox Heroes feed.
Oh, if the peanut sticks didn't do me in, that almost did.
Oh my goodness! And it's one of those things where like, and I think I did something last week with the main show here as well.
Didn't you put something in the wrong spot?
That I caught. I caught it though, but it's one of those things where it's like, all right, we're done. I can start like grabbing the file, editing the file, writing the show post and all the other stuff. But then we're chatting, and I'm doing the stuff while I'm chatting, and that's when stuff gets fucked up.
Right. That's why I always try to get out early so I don't bother you.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's not going to be a short show this week. Call it a
what?
Call it a hunch. All right, that's the wrap up of this. Hopefully everyone's listening to this in a post Madam Web haze.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
See you next week, everybody.
You're listening to the soon-to-be named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.